From the very beginning, experiential marketing was always a passion of mine. Customers are experiencing experiences from all over the world. It's about making sure that when a customer needs a service from us, they are able to get it. Globally, we're about to see the largest transfer of wealth in human history.
Concretely, Shaun, today, how do you design then experiences that are relevant across generations?
If you're not creating the right guidance, the right access to information, you're only doing half the job. Gen Z is not looking to walk into a bank.
Right.
They're looking to reach out to their social networks because if you get it wrong, you get it wrong for the whole world to see.
Hi, I'm Vanessa and welcome to the Playbook by Absa, our video series where we engage with experts shaping the future of banking across Mauritius and Africa. I'm very delighted to be joined by my guest today, Mr. Shaun Edmeston, the Head of Customer Experience at Absa Mauritius. Before we dive in, Shaun, can I ask you, what first sparked your interest in customer experience and how did that interest evolve into a career?
Vanessa, thank you. Let me tell you, from the very beginning, experiential marketing was always a passion of mine. I studied marketing at university, and my original plan was creative, going into the marketing strategy, design, even into advertising as a primary focus. But that pure and utter science around experiential marketing just captivated me, from the reason why car doors are heavier and lighter when they make the sound, the smell inside a car, the way that McDonald's packages their Happy Meals to make sure that kids come back the whole time is just a fascinating topic for me. And all through my career, it's always been about how do you make yourself different to the customer to keep them coming back.
Building on that journey, let's now explore some of the shifts and innovations that are transforming how organizations today design and deliver customer experience.
Yeah, it's a fascinating topic, Vanessa. I think to start off, we've got to understand that all customers have now become global customers in their expectations. You know, gone are the days where we operate in a localized environment. Customers are experiencing experiences from all over the world every day. We may think that our customers are local, but because they deal with so many different businesses from all over the world, they get to take on those expectations of service. If we look back at the travel industry, for example, if you go back 20 years, you had to deal with a travel agent, they had to print your tickets for you, you had to pick up the booklet. Now it's a case of going online, booking a travel trip across multiple destinations in a matter of seconds and never leaving the comfort of your seat. That then sets the new stage for customers everywhere to say, well, if I can do this with a company that's based in Europe, in America, why can't I do it in my own space? Why am I not getting the same level of convenience, of focus, of hyper-personalization to what I want in my local space? It puts a lot of pressure on companies. The other piece that is really growing is technology. COVID had a massive impact on customer experience because everybody was forced almost overnight into finding other ways to deal with their customers. It was about finding more efficient, more customer-orientated ways of engaging to allow businesses to still survive in that 12 months of madness.
Yes.
And rather than just stopping, it's continued. And not only continued, but it is accelerated to the point now where you've got business models coming out that have been driven by that need, that crisis that wasn't viewed as just a moment in time, and has absolutely launched a lot of customer experiences into this new way of doing business.
And that's really interesting what you're raising, Shaun, because as obviously in the banking industry today, we're very regulated, risk aware industry. And so what challenges do you see in bringing these practices into designing and delivering everyday banking experiences that obviously are, at not the same level, but that customers, get from interacting with other industries different to ours?
Look, we'll never be able to get away from the fact that we're a regulated institution.
Yes.
And it requires us to do a certain number of things. And one of those things is making sure that we provide the right set of products and services to our customers in the right way and at the right time. We've got to be really clear and really focused on what our relationship is with our customer as a starting point. And for all banks, that relationship is based around money. And having the seriousness of focusing on money and how serious people take their own money is a fundamental part of what we build. And being serious about their money is about creating trust. It's about creating continuity of services. It's about making sure that when a customer needs a service from us, they are able to get it. It doesn't always mean saying yes, because we also have to balance our responsibility as an organization in not putting customers in an unhealthy situation for them. So that balance is really difficult to bring. But what's most important is the seriousness with which we view what we do for our customers.
Obviously, customer feedback has long been used as a way of helping us, solve problems for customers. But we've seen a growing shift across industries where, rather than viewing feedback as a reactive tool, companies are now seeing it as a strategic asset.
Definitely.
Although 70% of customers say that, they feel more loyal to a company, to a brand that handles issues well. What does that tell us? For me, that tells us that there's not only value in resolution, but in also looking at those moments of friction into opportunities to build trust with our customers. So maybe from your perspective, Shaun, how can banks today truly fully leverage customer feedback as a way of deepening loyalty and also driving customer-led innovation in their space?
Look, I think it is the question that everybody should be asking, because a complaint is an insight into what's going wrong. A complaint gives you the opportunity to understand where customers see you not meeting their needs. And I think the first thing is about being open to it. And this starts at a cultural level.
Yes.
Because often we see complaints as negative things, as bad. You can't have a complaint.
Right.
Absolutely, you don't want your customers to be frustrated to the point where they have to complain. But when it does happen, and the customer invests the time and the effort into telling you, you've got to look at that as an opportunity and be grateful that a customer has come to you to say, listen, this is what I've experienced. It's not what I wanted.
Right.
And being open to it is the first thing. And that's cultural. Saying that a complaint is an opportunity to improve and we're not going to use it negatively is the first step that you've got to take in this journey.
And that's interesting, Shaun, but concretely on the ground, how do you foster a culture where teams view complaints as an opportunity rather than as a threat?
And that's leadership, because the more we understand where our customers are feeling pain points or friction points, anxiety, the better we'll be able to then adjust and pivot what we do to make the experience for them better in the long term. It's not just about the complaint. It's about how you act and how you react to that complaint. In many of our complaints and in many of our instances, you see, like with most organizations around the world, there is the potential to have a disconnect with what the customer expects and what we're ultimately delivering as an organization and the people involved in that.
Okay.
And often, if you're asking somebody to serve a customer that in an environment that they themselves have never been in.
Right.
You have to build the bridge for them. You have to take them on that journey of saying, this is what our customers expect. This is what our customers do through the use of personas and customer engagement sessions to link our people with our customers so that at all times they know this is what is expected from me and why. You get all of these amazing consulting firms coming in and saying you must deliver first-class service or five-star service. What does that mean to somebody who's never flown first class? What you're doing is you're leaving it up for interpretation. And interpretation is where the danger comes in. I can't expect somebody who I've never shown the road or built the bridge for to understand what I need when we're leaving it up to interpretation.
Sure. And I think you make some very good points here, Shaun. And you've spoken about being intentional about the way that we design experiences for our clients. And digital channels today, apps, chatbots, AI are the default for many customers.
Absolutely.
However, what research indicates is that although 75% of people still prefer digital channels, more than half seek a human touch when things become complex or emotionally charged. So can you tell me, what role do you expect digital channels to play in shaping seamless, human-centered interactions, experiences, and how do we ensure that these still reflect empathy and care?
It's a fantastic question, Vanessa, and I think if we break it into two parts, first and foremost, digital is the future. It's not even the future, it's the present. And we've got to make sure that we are always driving to be at the forefront of digital innovation, because that's the gate for customers to come through. That's where we get the most amount of engagement, and it's where we can drive the most intentional design around the easiest services and easiest transactions. But it's also about bringing the core of our business closer to the customer. The more the customer is able to do themselves, the less they need the engagement, especially on your everyday stuff. And I think that's where this breaks, to say we can do so much in certain instances, and we can create the chatbot, the automated chatbot linked to your large language models that is able to respond as if it is a human. And it is on 24/7, so somebody can always get the opportunity to engage with us in that nature. But you cannot just create a digital wall between you and your customers.
Yes.
There is always going to be the need for a customer to have the opportunity or the choice to switch out of a digital channel or to switch to a human. We said it earlier, money is a serious thing. And when, let's say, my balance doesn't match up to what I thought was going to be there, I need to speak to somebody now. And I need them to be able to explain to me what's going on. And that comes with human touch.
Today we see also that, there's Gen Z customers and they bring a different set of expectations to the table when it comes to how they engage with, banks. What we hear, what we read about Gen Z is that Gen Z are less tied to legacy brands. They are vocal about their needs, they're quick to switch. Today, that requires more than obviously upgrades, to the way we think about customer experience or how, digital channels. It's more of a fundamental shift in terms of how do we design and deliver value in a way that feels that these customers feel connected to our brand and want to engage and bank with us. How do we today ensure that we are designing, we are looking at future digital native customers, Gen Z customers, in the way that we design our customer experiences, the way that we think about our digital channels to make sure that the experience is personal. It's something that they feel connection with.
I can be building the most incredible digital experience that is aimed at making sure this next generation has a connection with me.
Yes.
But if I'm not careful, I can alienate a current generation.
Right.
To say, I've made it so digital and so targeted in one direction that, and let's take Mauritius as a perfect example here, an aging population
Right.
may not feel as connected.
Right.
Now, globally, we're about to see the largest transfer of wealth in human history as generations move. You can't afford to alienate part of your customer base by moving all of this into a channel that is only accessible to some.
Right.
So the balancing act is important. It's also about taking the customer down the journey of the last mile. There are always going to be customers out there who are able to adapt and pick up the intuitive nature of what is designed digitally.
Right.
We can all do it. We've seen it with the way that our phones and computers are going. The design is so intuitive that our children are able to do it before we're able to do it.
True.
But there are always going to be those people who need hand-holding through the process because change is scary.
Yes.
Change is as much of an impactor to the customer as the intentional experience that you're trying to create. So if you're not holding a customer's hand, if you're not creating the right guidance, the right access to information, you're only doing half the job.
Okay.
So walking the customer down the last mile is such a fundamental part of this journey, irrespective of the age. But it's also about being where the customers need you to be when they need you to be there. Gen Z is not looking to walk into a bank.
Right.
They're looking to reach out to their social networks about which banks are ethical, which banks are focusing on ESG, the environmental impact that they're having. Who are the banks backing?
Yeah.
Who are the customers? Who are the corporates, the companies engaging within their supply chain?
Yeah.
Who are the shareholders? Because the one thing about this generation is that they're very globally conscious.
Right.
They are connected in a way that no other generation has ever been connected. And they need that validation to also come from the societal impact that an organization brings, which is just as much of the experience of the brand as any part of the purchase process.
And that makes me reflect as well when you've spoken about, the needs of Gen Z and how they interact, how they engage, and how the expectations around brands that they connect with. And the tension between obviously getting the experience right for Gen Z customers without also leaving, the rest of our clients on the side of the road, so to speak. But concretely, Shaun, today, how do you design then experiences that are relevant across generations without diluting that experience?
Vanessa, I think this is about choice. It's about creating the opportunity for a customer to engage with you in whichever way they feel fit.
Right.
Whichever way makes them feel the most comfortable. And then having this omni-channel approach to allow a customer to change channels if they need to, rather than restricting them into one space.
Right.
So, yes, we have our digital front end, but our branch network is just as important apart from a channel point of view for that person who wants to walk in and talk to a human being. We've got such amazing stories out there of people in local communities who come into our branches to talk to our branch managers.
Right.
Just to talk to them.
Yes.
It's not always about a transaction. It's not always about selling a product. It's about that connection, that human connection that makes this such an important role to play. And even if it starts in that channel, how do you make it so easy to move from there to online, from online to chat, from chat to email, and not lose any of the nuances in the conversation, not lose any of the velocity, any of the importance that is given to one space or another. Social media is and has been for the last 10, 15 years, such a huge driver of strategy for organizations, because the conversation has gone from I'm talking to my friends at a dinner party and explaining my experience to I'm now posting it to hundreds of millions of people just at the click of a button. And the virality that social media has is what is shaping how much focus and emphasis goes into designing this stuff. Because if you get it wrong, you get it wrong for the whole world to see. And the brutality that comes with that viral nature
of social media
can spiral. And that's also about being responsive. Having a social media presence that is informative and responsive and open to comment.
Yes.
Exactly.
Conversations and how you...
Exactly.
Yes.
Because that's the next step in the conversation. And we've always spoken about the ability to be in the room when conversations are happening with customers. Social media is giving us that opportunity because they're bringing the conversation to us.
Right. And that brings us to the end of today's episode. Thank you, Shaun.
Thank you.
It's been a real pleasure having you and hearing your take on what it takes to lead in customer experience today.
No, thank you, Vanessa. It's been absolutely wonderful talking to you today, and look forward to some other episodes.
And thank you to our viewers for joining us today. Hope you enjoyed the episode and see you next time.